Friends, Namaskar friends. Today I'm going to discuss a new chapter whose name is Golden Era of Indian History of भारत. तो ये जो महान जो बात है भारतीय इतिहास की, इसकी हम बात करेंगे आज. तो ये जो महान जो ये बात है भारतीय इतिहास की, क्या क्या कवर करेगी ये? That will cover your Mauryan administration, Mauryan Empire, Gupta administration and Gupta Empire. Why it is great, we will discuss in this chapter. Who were the kings because of which these two kingdoms were called as great. Apart from these two kingdoms, in south Chola kingdom is also there. So these three kingdoms were basically the great kingdoms of India in the ancient period of time. So let us discuss them. First is your Mauryan administration. So Mauryan administration just came into being after the era of Mahajanpadas. In the Mahajanpadas, there were 16 main kingdoms, and out of the 16 main kingdoms, the most famous kingdom was of Nanda dynasty, that was near Patliputra, and that Nanda dynasty was thrown by Chandragupta Maurya with the help of his supporter Chandragupta or Vishnugupta or Chanakya. With the help of this supporter Chandragupta Maurya thrown away the Nanda dynasty from the place of Patliputra. So this is how this Chandragupta Maurya become the king, and this is his story is also been told in the Junagadh inscription. We just got the information regarding the Mauryan dynasty, Gupta dynasty, and the Chola dynasty from these books or works. Vishaka Dutt, Vishaka Dutt's Mudra Rakshas book, Arthashastra, Manjiri, Deepavamsha, Mahavamsha, Kalpasutra, Greek travelers book written by the Pluto, Chinese travel also written, Pahin, Yusang, Junagadh inscription of Ruttataman, and inscription of Ashok. So these are some theories, these are some the evidences through which we got information about the Mauryan dynasty. So first king is your Chandragupta Maurya. As I have already told you, he overthrew the Nanda dynasty from the Patliputra, and he compelled Seleucus to had a treaty with himself, because of which Seleucus married her daughter Helena with Chandragupta. Because of this matrimonial relation and diplomacy, Chandragupta rose to power, and after rising to the power, he just conquered northern India as well as some part of South India. And he conquered South India. This evidence can be gathered from these two works, Apnamur and Murnani, that told about the record of Chandragupta Maurya as well as Ashoka. So I have already told you, with the help of Kautilya, he overthrown this Nanda dynasty, and after Chandragupta Maurya, a king called as Bindusara came into the picture. And Bindusara, when there was a rebellion in the northwestern India, he sent his son Ashoka, who crushed the northwestern revolt. And from there, Ashoka shown his military as well as administrative skills to his father Bindusara. And after that, Ashoka became the next king of India, and he's the most famous, one of the most famous king of India. And his evidence is that there was a king Ashoka. That evidences can be gathered from this mask inscription from the Kashmir, from Rastarangini. So these are some evidences through which we got the information about Ashoka. Now let us discuss some of the achievements of Ashoka. So he's rightly called as the father of the nation. He has done public work in the field of tree plantation, agriculture, irrigation, construction of wells, dharamshalas. He also sended many missionaries on dharam yatras to propagate the Buddhism religion. He also appointed some Dhamma mantris who looked after the propagation of Buddhism religion as well as the principles of Dhamma. Next, he was also architecture, as he constructed many things. Then he has also constructed stupas for the propagation of Buddhism religion. He is having a very good foreign policy and diplomatic relations. And one example of diplomatic relations we have talked in the marriage of Chandragupta Maurya with the daughter of Seleucus, Helena. So here we are talking about Ashoka. He has also built stupas. He is having a very good foreign policy. He was very much tolerant about other religion. And why these all things are there in the Ashoka? Why these traits are there in the Ashoka? Because of one happening that is in 261 BC, because of Kalinga war. Because of this war, his heart changed. His heart changed towards the living beings, towards the animals, towards Brahmins, towards natural things. And because of this war, he just want to spread his message. And how he spread his message? He spread his message through the inscriptions, minor rock edicts, major rock edicts. Through these things, he has propagated his principles. And he has given a principle called as Dhamma. What is Dhamma is all about? It is written here. All the things are written here. You can read it. So it is based. What is Dhamma is? Dhamma is based on the concept of welfare of the people. It is based on the execution of policy of Dhamma. And when we talk about the evaluation of Dhamma, this is the thing which talks about the humanity at large. Okay. So here it is. The next topic, modern administration. I have told you. इसमें कुछ भी लिख सकते हो. Central administration में king है. काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स नॉर्मल होते ही हैं. काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स को असिस्ट करने के लिए ऑफिसर्स थे उस टाइम पे. और वहाँ पे अलग से टाउन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था, जैसे आज नगर निगम है. अपनी आर्मी थी, इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम था, जस्टिस सिस्टम था, रिवेन्यू सिस्टम था, पब्लिक वेलफेयर सिस्टम, प्रोविंशियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड रूरल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वहाँ था. ठीक है. और ये अशोक के कुछ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म थे जो उसने खुद ने किए, जो पहले नहीं थे. लाइक ही अपॉइंटेड राजुकास, युक्तास एंड प्रोविंशियल ऑफिसर्स. ही अपॉइंटेड धम्मा महामंत्रास. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. For the propagation of principle of Dhamma, he appointed Dhamma Mahamantras. Okay. So after this end of modern administration, there is another important kingdom, that is Gupta kingdom or Gupta empire. First king is Srigupta, not important. Ghatotkacha, not important. Chandragupta first, that is important, but not that much. Then his son is Samudragupta. That is very important. You can write here, very, very important. Samudragupta is very important because of the Ashwamedh Yajna he performed, because of the information that we gathered from Samudragupta from Prayag inscription. And he also had a very vital role in the construction of Amravati sculpture. And his sculptures or his pillars are found in Sanskrit language, written in Brahmi script and Champu style. He is also called as the all-rounder ruler. Samudragupta is also called as the all-rounder ruler because of his knowledge in literature. He is called as Kaviraj. So these are the qualities of Samudragupta. So after that, he is having several victories. He won many areas for the Gupta Empire. So these are the traces, these are the things because of art, architecture, music, literature, and his administrative and military skills. He is rightly called as all-rounder ruler of Gupta Empire.